Now we know what the sine curve looks like. Now we're going to see how can we change the shape and the position of the sine curve. So we're going to find out there are four things that really affected. We've got amplitude. We got A, B, C, and D in this formula. A represents amplitude, which is right here. I'm going to call this line right here the center line. It runs right through the center of my sine curve. So amplitude is the displacement from the center line. How high is the wave? If the water was completely still, the water would be sitting along the center line. Now the wind picked up and the wave started. So how big are the waves? How much did it displace from that center line? That's my amplitude. All right, B has something to do with the period. That's how long does it take to go one time around. Remember, it's not from 0 to 0. It's from the beginning where we started. We started going up the hill. We're going, the y's got bigger, then they got smaller, then they got negative, and then they got less negative, and they got back around to 0. So how long does it go one time around the circle? So that's called the period. And for us, the normal period of sine was 2 pi. All right, and then C is the horizontal displacement. If we look at this as being the place where it starts, where it hits the x-axis and going up the hill is the origin, or the place where you start your sine curve, how much has that point been displaced, left or right? And then D is how much has it been moved up or down. The center line is a good thing to use that as a reference. So I got a couple of pictures here. Here's my basic sine curve. We start at 0. When we get up to pi over 2, we're up to 1. When we get back over to pi, we're halfway around the circle. We're back to 0. Now they're getting negative at 3 pi over 2, negative 1, back here. So 2 pi. So when I now let the A be 2, please see there's a direct relationship between the A and the amplitude. We doubled the A and we doubled the amplitude. So now see the wave is twice as high. Same period. It takes 2 pi to get around, but it goes up twice. It's a windier day. We got bigger waves. Okay, but now down here, I let B equal 2. And B, there's an inverse relationship between the B and the period, because I have 2 waves in 2 pi now when I put the 2 in here. I get twice as many waves per each unit that we travel. So twice as many waves means half the period. It takes half, each one is half as long. So when we double the B, we have the period. So there's an inverse relationship. And we have this little formula right here to help us with that. So P equals 2 pi. 2 pi is the normal period divided by B. So if I double the B, I cut the period in half. All right. Now let's take a look here. Here's a graph. There, I can see it's a sine wave. It's nice. It could be cosine, but we're just going to deal with sine for this. And the first thing I'm going to do is put in my center line. And then I can look here and I see, oh, the amplitude is 2. So I know A is 2. The start point, the place where it hits the center line and is going up, is right here. So it didn't move left, right, but it did move up, down. It moved 0 left, right, and it moved 1 up, down. So C is 0 and D is 1. All right, now here comes the P. All right, so normally it's 2 pi, but we can see it's less than that here. We go up once, down. We're halfway around the circle, down. Oh, there's my other point, and then up. So if there are 4 parts, 4 quadrants to get around the circle, then we went 1, 2, 3 out of the 4. So 3/4 of the period is equal to pi over 2, because I went from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, now we got to do the algebra. Multiply both sides by 4/3. Fine. 2 and 4 cancel. I'm going to get P is equal to 2 pi over 3. So to go one time around, it took me 2 pi over 3. It went faster. What do I have to solve for B using that formula? Here's my P. And now hopefully you can see it. Oh, B and 3. The answer is going to be 3. But we multiply both sides by B, get the B over here, and then multiply the other side by 3 over 2 pi to get this to go away. And you can get B equals 3. And now putting it all together, we have that as being